I was just sitting there, and then like in Revelation it talks about like how horns will be played, or like trumpets and stuff, and I thought I heard like trumpets. I'm like, hold on, and I listened, and I kept hearing it. I'm like, oh man, and then I prayed on the toilet, and then like it stopped happening.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nexus podcast. We're back in the den. It's been a few weeks since our last show. We had a week off and then Thanksgiving, I think. Has it been 2 weeks or just 1 week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks off. And so we're back.
Yeah, because you all missed Jack. I mean, let's just be honest. You were like missing his interaction.
What's he going to say this week? What?
Yeah.
And if you haven't missed me, you're not only lying to yourself, but to God. So.
Oh, wow.
It's a bold statement.
Yeah,
it's a bold statement, but
Jack is Jack.
Yeah,
that's all you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what have we missed for you in the last 2 weeks, Ron? What have you been up to?
Well, we'll see. 2 weeks. I had a week of vacation. That was part of it.
Did you do anything good?
No, stayed at home. Well, no, that's not true. I did stay at home, and then I wanted to watch Isaiah play basketball, which is worth everything. So
yeah,
that's enjoyable. And it was good basketball, so it was more enjoyable.
Did you win?
They won 2 and lost 2.
All right.
But the 2 games they lost, they were winning most of the game. They just didn't finish them at the end. But he had a big game. He had a nomination for Athlete of the Week, so that was cool.
I saw that. I voted.
Yeah. So
when's he find that out?
I think someone else. I think there was 4 guy basketball players and 1 girl basketball player, and I think the girl won.
Well,
so I haven't asked Isaiah officially, but I'm pretty sure I saw on Twitter that the girl won. So
all right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's next time.
Absolutely.
You didn't slow down.
Jack, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks?
School. Video games. Staying at home.
Now people want to know, what video game are you playing?
Oh, well, you see, I play super cool games like Jurassic World Evolution 2. Because it's kind of slow-paced. It's more my style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in that game, you get to be the creator of your universe, right? And build...
farm animals, right?
Well, dinosaurs, but yeah.
Oh.
But you build the world the way you want to, right?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's a management simulator.
Management simulator.
Wow,
it's basically education.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Video games for learning, Jack.
I know.
That's a step ahead of all your friends.
Look at me go.
He's got a budget to build a good park.
You got a future,
and all
man.
kinds of stuff.
I know.
Yeah. I had a vacation too, but like you, I just stayed home. But it was good to stay home. It was good to do nothing for a solid week. And what I found was, if you do nothing for a week, you actually have time to enjoy the day.
Yeah.
You know, I got to spend time with Grace a little bit. I didn't see you as much because you were at school till Wednesday. Yeah. But you know, a lot of weeks I feel like I go to bed on Sunday, and I wake up and it's Sunday again. Like the week is gone. There's no time to enjoy it or appreciate it or anything. So this was it was good to kind of refresh, regroup, come back. You know, I don't know how Jay does like it. 8 weeks sabbatical, or 6 months or whatever he's been on. I mean, I don't know how you get back to normal from that.
Yeah, I don't know how you come back and want to go to work.
I don't know at all. Like,
after 8 weeks, I'd be like, I need 8 more weeks.
That's basically retirement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I don't know.
But was it good for you to get back to Nexus after having a week off? Do you miss it when you're gone for a week?
Yeah, I miss Wednesday nights. I try to do things that on Wednesday that I can't normally do. So
Yeah.
This one I didn't really do as well. I did go to watch basketball, but because I can't do that every Wednesday when there's games. But
Right.
not anything too exciting. Like sometimes I mow my lawn because I can never mow my lawn on Wednesday, or I go shopping because I can never go shopping on Wednesday. I don't know, weird things that you can never do on Wednesday because I'm always here.
I know Grace didn't care that the next day was Thanksgiving. She was upset that you didn't have Nexus anyways because she wants to spend time with her friends and see everybody. I mean, it's a big deal for her.
Yeah.
I mean, she really looks forward to that every week. I think, I think Jack does, but I know Grace does for sure. She struggles when there's no Nexus.
Yeah. And we planned our Christmas party. So what's your thoughts about going back to the 80s, Jack?
It's gonna be cool. I think. I don't know. I wasn't there.
So we're doing, on Sunday, our high school Christmas party, we're doing a murder mystery for the first time. So Game Master Bradley is taking us on an adventure, and the theme is an 80s prom. So some of you parents went to prom in the 80s. I'm not quite
I
that
did not
old.
go in the 80s, no.
I was in middle school in the 80s, so I had a 8th grade dance, but I didn't have no prom. That was later in the 90s.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we're bringing back the mullet, the big V sweater. You got to get a cardigan that's like buttons at the bottom with
just call Mr. Nemi.
You could. There you go.
Mike, everybody's gonna come borrow your
Something
clothes.
in his closet is from the 80s. So, but yeah, or you can get a pastel, the Dumb and Dumber suits.
Yeah.
Those would be considered 80s attire. So
You could easily, if you're a student listening to this, call Andrew and have him ask his dad how much he's gonna charge to rent out some of his clothes.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
yeah.
Now he's gonna be mad at me like Matthew was.
I mean, you might get lucky sometimes at Savers. You find the right 80s attire. So,
Yeah.
but don't go spend a lot of money on some crazy outfit for it. I mean, be creative. So
So you have to find 80s clothes between now and Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, and like most
Like
students,
Saturday.
Jack will tell his mom
Oh, we just found out.
Sunday morning.
We just found out right now.
Yeah.
Mom, I need clothes. For
Yeah.
what? 80s clothes.
Yeah.
Because that's easy to find.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then we're back in belonging. So that's where things are at now. What'd you get out of last night?
Oh, I got a lot. It was good. If you didn't know, Ron's pretty smart.
Yeah, maybe, but that's all right.
He pretends not to be.
The thing I like most about what you said was, you asked if we lived if we woke up wanting Jesus to come back that day, and if we lived every day like if he would come back tomorrow. Like I never thought about it that way. It's always like, oh, I'll have time, and like I'll have time to figure it out. I don't need to work or stress about it now, but like really you have to get everything figured out now, or you're gonna be in hell for eternity. So
Well, we all have no idea of when the end comes, right? So mostly as high schoolers, we don't think that today could be the last day. Like we just don't, tragic things happen in the world. We had another high school shooting
Yep.
where a student went in and took 4 lives. So that we live in a world where tragic things happen. When I was in high school, one of the guys, the manager on the basketball team, woke up one morning, had a heart thing go wrong, and he died at 16. And, none of us thought he wouldn't be there the next day. So, there's things that happen in the world and in life, and we don't have guarantees. So,
And I think that's an interesting way to put it too, right? Because some people think end of the world, like end times. Well, really, the end of the world is just the the end of your world, and then you're gone, and then you're going to meet Jesus. So that could be today. Yeah. That could be tomorrow. It could be, you don't know. It doesn't mean that, it's the end times, end of the world.
And we did talk about the passage that talks about the day of the Lord coming back, that, nobody knows the time or the moment when Jesus is going to come and set up his kingdom, as Scripture promises. So living in light of that, that's what we have, this idea that there is an end, but then there's also the fact that we could all be living tomorrow and Jesus could come back. And that would change everything. So, and he would crush Satan and restore his kingdom, and things would be different. So living knowing that there's some this word tongue ties me every time. Living with some a little bit of expectancy.
Nice job.
Knowing that Jesus can come back, like expecting it, like living in the reality that one day Jesus is coming back. And so I better live his commands today by loving God and loving people and following his word, because I might get held accountable sooner than later.
Right.
I have a funny story about that.
Sure.
Yeah. One time in middle school, I came home from school, and I went to the bathroom, and I was pooping. And
always the bathroom with you.
It's where the best moments happen. And
Apparently.
then I was just sitting there, and then like in Revelation it talks about like how horns will be played, or like trumpets and stuff, and I thought I heard like trumpets. I'm like, hold on. And I listened, and I kept hearing it. I'm like, oh man. And then I quick prayed on the toilet. And then like it stopped happening, and I waited. I'm like, oh shoot, did I get left behind? And then like a while later, my mom texted me, I'm like, okay, cool, it hasn't happened yet.
Well, I guess.
And like that just shows like it could happen anytime, even when you're on the toilet.
That's
apparently
that's
in your
true.
head.
I mean,
Anytime.
I'm sure
Jesus is coming while you're on the throne,
And that
which is the wrong place to be.
that might be what happened.
Jesus is supposed to be on the throne.
Jesus
You're not
is
supposed to
coming
be on the
sit
throne.
You're not on the throne.
No.
No.
Just keeping it
Wow,
warm for him.
that just kind of built, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. He put it in there.
A couple good things about that, right? That happened in middle school.
Yeah.
In middle school, he already knew passages of the Bible to think, is that trumpets sound? There's nobody home. Are those?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Jack's dreaming of being home alone. All his family gone. Finally, this is my house.
See God's wrath being poured out around me. It's like, at least I get the house to myself.
We've all got goals. Yeah. So how do you go from belonging, the idea of belonging, to what would you do if tomorrow was the day you met Jesus? How does that play into each other?
Well, the passage goes on to talk about salvation, that Jesus is the one that died and rose again so that we could have life. And then it goes on, Paul goes on to say, then you need to put on your breastplate of faith and love, believing that God is who he is, and then you'll do the things he's promised, and that he loves you and you love people. And then our helmet of salvation, which is our security that Jesus will save us. Because of what comes out of us being saved and Jesus' children, or God's children, and part of the church is that then we're called to do live in community and do as Paul challenges us at the end. He said this at the end of chapter 5, well, not at the end, but in verses 9 through 11. Said, for God did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through the Lord Jesus Christ. He died for us so that whatever we are awake or sleep, we may live together with him. And then verse 11 talks about the belonging part. It says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Paul has this repetition idea in First Thessalonians and 2nd that he tells us to do things more and more, and that's what he means by the fact that you're doing that. You seek to encourage each other and build each other up more and more and more and more and more, not just one time, but multiple times, and that it continues as a way of life in your life, not just a one-time event. Like sometimes we like to do a good thing for somebody during the holidays, and then we're like, oh, I'm good for the rest of the year. I did my deed. I donated to the food pantry. I was nice to my aunt and uncle, or I did this thing, and so now I'm good. And Paul's reminding us that it's a way of life, doing it more and more and more. So that's where we landed in small groups, was talking about how do we build one another up, and how do we continue doing that over and over and over again.
And if you're doing that, then you're living your life in a way that when Jesus comes, he's going to say, my good and faithful servant, right?
Yep.
Not go, man, I should have helped that last person yesterday. I know we missed last week, but 2 weeks ago. But I wanted to touch on that a little bit because I know that it was really good for Grace, and you liked it a lot about making sure that the people that are around you in your circle are people that should be in your circle, and what that looks like. Because I think for a lot of students and adults, right, we tend to surround ourselves with maybe the people that we shouldn't.
Sometimes, yeah.
Whether they're more fun or you know, you just don't know, or maybe it's you just don't know how to weed certain people out without being mean about it.
I think one of the things is you said last night in the beginning that belonging is having responsibility for the people around you, and you have to actively do that. It's not just going to happen automatically. You need to force yourself and kind of teach and learn how to do it throughout the way. And I look at it as, if you are showing responsibility for someone and they're not showing it to you, then you don't belong to that person. And maybe not weed them out totally, but just remove them from your inner circle.
Yeah.
And the people that you are responsible for, and that they're responsible for you too, and they show that, keep them in your inner circle and hold on to them. That's something I've had to do. Not remove, but just take a step back from some people. And it's not going to be an easy thing, because when you show responsibility for someone and they don't show it back, it hurts, because you trusted that person. But the people that show it back, you're going to have a much bigger relationship that's meaningful, and it's gonna last.
What does that mean to you to have responsibility for people that you belong to?
For me, it's to put them first. If they need me, or if they just need to talk to me or need my help, I'll kind of just stop what I'm doing and give them what they need from me, and put them before me, because I don't know, hopefully they'll do it back, but if not, it's whatever. And just the thing I look at it as you got to be responsible for people, because for me, if the sins I've done, I've repented of, and I wouldn't want other people to do them, just because how they've affected me like so much, and kind of changed my life in bad ways and good ways too. That like I wouldn't want that for anyone, and like just helping people not get to that point.
So you feel a responsibility to them to kind of mentor them, right? Put them under your little wing.
Learn from my mistakes.
Yeah. I think that's a goal of a parent too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a goal of friends to do that.
Yeah.
But as a parent, it's our job too to take all those hard knocks lessons that we learned and say, Jack, come here. Let me tell you about why maybe you should avoid this. And I mean, you know, as my son, sometimes you're like, I don't care, Dad. I don't want to do that. I got to figure it out on my own. Right. And that's hard too.
Yeah.
Man, I just had a brain fart. So
Stinks.
Ron, I know, and then Ron shut the lights off. Now we've all done it. We've all done
We're
it
back.
once.
We took a break, commercial break, and
We've all done
now
it once.
we're back.
So what advice, Ron, do you give to students who are finding themselves in that situation, whether they need to make some cuts in their friend group, or they're being responsible for people in their group that they belong to, and they're not getting that reciprocated? How do you do that in a loving way? What are those steps look like?
Well, like Jack said, and we talked about the idea of being responsible for ourselves and the people that God places in our life. And the passage that we used a couple of weeks ago is from Ecclesiastes, and it's the 3 strands aren't easily broken is the end of it. And so the idea is that one strand is Jesus, and then there you and a friend, right? So, or there's these relationships you have in your life that when Jesus is at the center of them, they're unbreakable. And that's what everybody needs as a follower of Jesus, is at least 1, 2, 3, 4 people, your inner circle, in a sense, of people that you know will be there when, things get hard. Because if you don't have those people, and you have weak people who don't put Jesus first, who are self-centered, when those things come into your life, the rope can get broken. Like, life can get harder and the circumstances can change dramatically. So just being reminded of the need of community, the need of the right relationships that make us stronger, and those right relationships usually have Jesus as the center of them, not just sports or something random that we may have in common with someone. Because when those things get taken away or they change, we don't have much left. So that's why when it's you and your friends and Jesus, there's strength in that, because Jesus isn't going anywhere. So, yeah.
It's good to have that constant rock.
Yeah.
And then it's good to be able to have those people around you that you call your friends, that when things do get hard, you don't have to put up that shield or that mask of, I'm fine, I can do it, I'm fine, I got this, right? You can actually call on those people because you know that they are going to be there for you.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, but... I know we said we were going to try and keep today a little bit shorter to get people back into the swing of things.
And then we can get into some...
Plus, it's Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and Ron is spent. He didn't get enough sleep last night. And we're all back in the swing of things. So, any other big thoughts, Jack?
I have a couple.
Okay, good.
So, being responsible for people, like, it's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
It is incredibly draining.
It is.
Like, on the back to school retreat that we had this year, like, I would say that was the best retreat that I've ever had, not because I felt closer to God, but because I felt closer to my friends. And, like, the giving all you have until, like, you have nothing left to give, and then even faking it so that you make yourself have more to give, like, that's hard. And the convicting thing for me was that in order to do that, I need to have a better base in my faith and, like, spend more time with God and not do the things I want to do, because if I do that, I'm actively letting down the people I'm supposed to love. And I think that was a awakening thing for me on the retreat, and I got it again yesterday with youth group. But the other thing I wanted to say was what you said about saying that you can do it on your own, and I got this. I don't need other people help. I have like 4 years of experience to say it's only going to get worse, majorly worse. So even at like the first sign of trouble, like, you gotta tell someone or it's gonna get bad.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, we don't have to get into all that, but I think part of the problem is that when you feel like you have something to tell somebody, you replay all the worst possible scenarios in your mind, right? And I'm sure we'll get to this on later podcasts down the line. But did any of the worries or concerns or things that you had in your brain ever come true when you let people in for help? No. So it was just all the voices and the demons and all the stuff saying, don't trust them. Don't trust them. They're going to turn on you. You can't confess that. No. You're going to lose everybody.
Yeah.
And instead, it brings you closer together. That's part of belonging. Right? And those are the people that you can do that with. That's and that was part of what we talked about. Is that's how you find out if those are people that you can do that with. Because if they go, whoa, you know they're not your people. I would hope. I would hope that if I went to Ron with something, he wouldn't go, all right, well, we're done being friends.
No more. I can't handle that. That's too much for me.
We went to lunch one time and I dumped problems on him, and he said, this is why I'm a youth pastor. You're too old. I'm not handling your problems. I got it. You got a good lunch out of it, though.
I did.
Well, I think that's good stuff. I think we had a lot of good stuff today. We've got retreat coming up. What date is the retreat?
President's Day weekend, the 18th, 19th, and 20th of February.
All right, so
we'll talk more about it next week or the week after when we get some more Nexus students in here.
Yeah, but it's a good thing to start planning for. Parents, if you're listening to this, that's when it is. Put it on your schedule. Don't plan anything for that weekend, or plan something for your family minus your middle school and high school students. Maybe it's a good date weekend for parents. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know.
It's possible.
Jack, you want to pray for us?
Yeah, sure. God, thank you that we're able to come back after 2 weeks of rest. Thank you that you are faithful and good, and that you give us good people that we can trust. And I thank you, and I praise you. In your name I pray. Amen.
Awesome. So a couple things. If you're watching on YouTube, you gotta like it, right? You gotta. I'm not gonna say smash it because that's just weird, but you gotta hit the like button. You gotta like it.
Like it if you like it. Dislike
Yeah.
it if you dislike it.
No, if you dislike it, just ignore it. Don't
No,
dislike
if
it.
you dislike it, and then tell us exactly what you hated.
Oh, that's a
in-
good idea.
In very detailed and descriptive words,
Yeah.
so that we can thoroughly understand what you did not like and definitely change it in the future.
Or tell you, tough, we're not gonna change it. Deal with it.
Did you not hear the sarcasm?
I did, but some people don't pick up on sarcasm. So, pass it on to people, share it, put it on social media, do all that stuff. We wanna try and impact as many people as we can. Not just people that actively go to the church, but it'd be great to reach people that don't, so that they can hear the good news that we're talking about and that you're sharing every week. So, thanks, Ron.
Yep.
Thanks, my son. We're gonna go have some dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for watching and listening and sharing it and commenting. It's cool to hear the encouragement from friends and people that like the show. So take care. God bless, and we'll see you on Sunday and next Wednesday.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.